What is going on YouTube? This is Jim, back with another video. Today we're looking at another retro game. This one by Milton Bradley. Believe it or not, they actually made video games for a while. Obviously, not alone. They partnered with the great people over at Rare. Yes, that Rare. They came out with a game called Captain Skyhawk. Now, what I love about Captain Skyhawk and why it's a really fun retro game was that it really pushed the envelope of visuals. A lot of these games are very traditional side-scrolling games where you're just going left to right. Now, this game you could argue is very retro in the sense that it's going south to north. You're only flying up towards the screen. But there was a lot of other elements that they injected into this game, like altitude, for example, where you had to kind of lower your plane or raise your plane depending on the bosses you were fighting, depending on the terrain you were flying through. I thought that was a really neat touch. Additionally, points do matter in this game, and this is one of the first games where you can kind of upgrade your ship as you go on, and you can make the game much easier and much more enjoyable if you're an advanced player, as opposed to somebody who just kind of flies through and doesn't really, do anything. So the only real objective you have here, in this is the first mission, is to fly to the end of the level and to destroy an enemy base. So all these vehicles you see on the ground, these little cars, these little polygon type enemies, you could totally ignore them like I'm doing here. There's stuff off to the right, but I'm just kind of hugging the left mountain. You don't even have to shoot them if you don't want to. But you're seeing you're getting points, and your point meter is rapidly increasing. There's no score multipliers or anything, so it's just shoot every possible thing that you can. Anyways, you get to the end of the level and you have to destroy this base, which I always thought was kind of funny because your ship just kind of like stops. It's almost like hover mode or something. I'm not really entirely sure, but that's okay. But most levels will end with you destroying a base or a boss of some type, something that's shooting back at you. Only one shot before you die. That's why I'm wildly swinging left and right not to get hit. But what really makes this game shine to me, and something that I really do appreciate years later, is the variety of gameplay here. So far you're just doing this regular mission where you're just kind of flying around and you blow up this base. Okay, good job, the base is blown up. Now you switch over to another mode. Now this looks like something out of Top Gun, where now instead of flying kind of north to south, now you're doing this kind of chase plane where you're flying and you're attacking airplanes on a plane. Some of them fly towards you, some of them fly away from you. It depends. You try to shoot as many as you can to get some rewards here. Unfortunately, with a lot of these Nintendo games, you really start to have a hard time controlling this because we didn't have analog back then. So we just had the D-pad. There wasn't really a range of smooth analog motion where you could, comfortably, like, if you think of the analog stick with N64, how revolutionary that design was. So your plane kind of snaps in directions where the game thinks you want to go. And a lot of times, the plane will automatically level off, or the plane will automatically make these wild, violent jerks, which you see me kind of trying to combat through. That's why you're just kind of spraying wildly, trying to hit everything that you can. In that sense, not having a score multiplier actually isn't necessarily a bad thing, because it's kind of hard to kind of fly around and nail everything here. So this is a second mechanic of the game. Sometimes you're flying, sometimes you're doing this. You do this for a little bit. I don't think there's a counter on how many planes that come by. I don't know if there's a particular score you're trying to get, but you just shoot as many as you can. Again, you're racking up those points. You're seeing the score is increasing. You're getting a bonus score applied to your whatever, your overall score. Now you have to dock with the space station. So yet another gameplay mechanic. What you're trying to do is you're trying to line up the ship with that spinning thing in the center, and then when you feel ready, you hit B, and you'll fly into it. Now, my first attempt, not so good. I lost a life there. You actually want to rotate. You actually want to match the rotation. So right when your plane is actually flush with this is when you actually want to hit it. And then we're going to rotate through. So I feel like I have it kind of lined up. You kind of go up and down a little bit, make sure you're like in a good spot. And then when you're ready, you hit B and boop, you go in the thing. Now, why do those points matter? Because you can upgrade. You get credits. All your points can now get transformed into credits. And you can upgrade different parts of your ship. You can upgrade your just regular cannons. You can upgrade special bombs that you have, which I don't really use too much in this game. You can upgrade just different parts of your plane, which is really cool. Now, if you hadn't been killing all those things, you wouldn't have nearly as many credits to go through. Doesn't mean that you need them or don't need them. It's just kind of a nice way to customize your gameplay if you want to think of it like that. Yet another gameplay mechanic now Now you're flying through, the level will loop, but in this instance, you're trying to use the bomb button to drop bombs, or like these basically supply drops into these special crates. If you miss, the level resets and you just fly around infinitely until you get it, or until your fuel meter runs out. Now, there is a slew more of gameplay variants in Captain Skyhawk. I'm not going to show them all to you here, and I've gone pretty long on this video. I just wanted to give you kind of a taste of this, but for a Nintendo game to have this many types of mechanics, to have this many types of variants in your gameplay, with that early polygon look that we know that Rare perfected years go by, I feel like this is one that really shouldn't be overlooked, and I feel like it's a game that really does all the things right. You have a progression system that actually matters. By getting more points and doing more challenges, you can upgrade your ship to make it stronger. A lot of gameplay mechanics. It's really, really, really interesting. So there you guys have it. My thoughts on Captain Skyhawk. I'm getting choked up, man. It is my life. This is gaming, man, at its finest. As always, on it, thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a comment below. Let me know what other retro games you are checking out. And until next time, I will see you guys on the other side.